Well, another day. It's good to have you back, Chris.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. We've been doing these episodes for quite some time now. I mean, we got like what, 5, 6, 7 of them already.
We've been doing this for a while.
And I think it's benefited a lot of you, so I really do appreciate it.
I like doing it.
We've been getting your feedback, a lot of positive feedback. So we're going to continue doing these. We spoke briefly. Well, on the other episode, it was in my house. We talked about just cold calling and like practicing your speech and all that, because anyone can go door to door, anyone can do the flyers, but having the confidence and courage built up to do the actual talking and selling takes a lot of practice.
There's a lot of preparing behind the scenes that we do here in our week and our day. Phil, what does your typical day look like for you in lawn care?
So I'll start off with, let's just say Monday. I leave that day to, actually, no, let's talk about a work day.
It's just simple, We'll talk about weeks maybe later.
Yeah, let's do that. So my day is, I wake up early. I mean, you don't want to wake up.
How early? What time?
Yeah, so my typical day is 8 to 5, okay? So I have from 8 o'clock to 5 to mow all of my customers.
Yeah.
And what I do is I wake up at 6 in the morning. I give myself 2 hours every day.
Wow.
I give myself 2 hours to prepare. And think about it. It's not 2 hours and then you go to your truck and drive to the client. No, it's almost 7.5. And then that half hour, you want to drive to your client or whatever, get gas and all that, and start working at 8. I mean, you're trimming at 8, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to start driving at 8. That's not a work day for me personally.
Now, does it change in the summertime when it's really hot, or when it wakes up, things wake up earlier? Do you start
so the day is like an hour or maybe two hours earlier, depending on if we're doing commercial in the morning. We sometimes reorient.
Change around your day.
Change around the day, man. It's a tongue twister. But yeah, like I wake up, first hour, obviously, brush my teeth, personal hygiene, drink my cup of coffee, read my Bible, and pray, and then head on out and visually look at all of my equipment. Because if you don't look at your equipment, you might show up to the property like we talked about earlier with a flat tire.
Yeah.
And then you're like, or your thing won't start, It's always good to start your machines and just make sure everything's working, because the last thing you want to do is show up to the property that you're servicing. The first thing, especially if it's a Monday, man,
you show up
and your machine won't start. I had that happen, Chris.
Really?
I'll tell you a story right now. I woke up, and it's 7:30. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go out and start my equipment like I always do, regular day. And I go out there, sit on my zero turn. The first thing I do is I always cold start my zero turn, just choke it. And so you don't want to cold start it in the customer's lawn, because then
maybe
you got to let it sit there. Or maybe it won't start. I turned the key, man, and it wouldn't start. It just clicks.
Oh, no.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it was like the beginning of the week. So I have the whole week. And of course, my brain starts going crazy. Like so much weight has just gone on to me. And I'm like, oh man, dude. I started crying. I mean, I got emotional. And like, I'm real with you guys. I don't care. You probably do the same, And so, like, I started bawling, and I go to my wife. I'm like, my thing won't start. And I was just getting so
Is that
mad.
how it was? My thing wasn't stupid.
It won't start. And I was just like,
wife, make it work.
It was brand new. It was like a year-old zero turn. I'm like, how? And I was just like, so frustrated. But my emotions got to me, and then I remembered, I don't know why, but I felt like God was speaking to me at that point. He's like, just go get your jumper. So I'm like, okay. So I go get my jumper, and then, well, guess what? It started. And it was just like a simple fix like that. It's like simple things that just get your emotions all stirred up.
Yeah.
But
so you're starting your machines first thing in the morning.
You got to start your machines. Because, make sure they run, and if you have to fix them at home, or it's better to fix them at home right there and then, and be a little bit late. Be on the customer's property, having to load everything back up, go back.
That's the worst. When you get a flat tire, your machine breaks down on the customer's property.
Oh man, it's like, it just ruins your whole day. It ruins your whole day, and it might ruin your whole week, because you never know. You don't know what's wrong with it, and so.
So you're preparing now. Do you pack a lunch when you're out there, or do you stop at fast food?
Man, I'll be honest
with you. How diligent are you?
I'll be honest with you, I get lazy sometimes.
Oh, I get lazy all the time. I have a steady diet of gas station hot dogs and 7-Eleven Big Gulps, I'll tell you.
I'm probably, I don't know. I won't say I'm the worst, because sometimes my wife, she prepares meals for me.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, you know,
then
she's got stuff to do,
McDonald's.
then you're like, looks like it's an eat out day. Yeah. So you stop. But yeah, either I pack a lunch or I don't. I always grab water. Sure. Water is very important. Yeah. If you're out there working in the heat and you're not drinking water, you're going to get dehydrated and you might pass out.
It's just not good.
It's not good. You got to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Always drink some water beforehand. I like to drink coffee, but I also like to gulp down like a 16-ounce bottle of water after my coffee, because I feel like, I don't know why, but I always get a crash when I just drink coffee.
Yeah, me too.
And if I don't, have that extra
with
water,
a snack or something,
then I don't have all that energy, you know. And if you don't eat breakfast beforehand, you're going to be hungry by like 10.
Yeah, and even when I eat breakfast at 10 in the morning, and I eat my second breakfast at 10.
Yeah.
And then I eat my lunch.
I always
at noon.
have some dry snacks as well, while I'm driving, just eat a bar.
Yeah.
And that way you're constantly the energy that you've lost, all the protein that you've lost, you're now replacing it.
Yeah, diet's really important, because we're on our feet all day.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're eating junk food all day and hot dogs, gas station hot dogs, I'll raise my hand, man. I'm guilty of that too. But we gotta be careful what we eat as well.
We do,
So,
and our wives probably get down on us. You gotta eat more healthy. Yeah, well, especially me. I'm getting older
too. Make a sandwich.
Grab
some. We got food at home.
Yeah.
No, man. But guess what? It's convenience. It is convenience.
That's why they call it a convenience store.
Yeah, exactly. So it's instant food. Like I talked about, we live in a generation where it's like, I want it now. I want it. I don't want to make it. I want it.
All right, let's stay on topic here. So you start your machines.
Yep.
And you got some snacks. You got your coffee. You got your water. You're charging on. You're mowing your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, whatever. Do you stop at a particular time for lunch, or do you just pack a lunch? We talked a little bit. Sometimes you stop by a gas station and eat.
Yeah.
What's your whole day look like? Are you running errands in between? Are you wasting time? Like, what's going on?
So mid through when I'm out mowing, I don't want any distractions unless my wife is stuck somewhere in a ditch. I'll go help her. But when it's like my parents call me and say, "Hey, are you available?" They usually know that I'm running a business. I'll say, I'll get to you after.
I'll call you back later, sure.
Yeah, or I'll call you back. I'll get to you after. So I don't try to have any distractions other than if it's business related.
Sure.
Like if I forgot to do something, I forgot to close the gate, and a customer calls me, I'll go back and do it. I'm not going to be like, wait till the end of the day. You just want to be, your priority list kind of changes when you're running the route for the day.
Sure.
And so midweek or throughout the middle of the day, what I do is I usually have my spot in the route, my little spot where I go and park and get lunch if I need to.
Sure.
And just literally spend half hour to maybe an hour sometimes. Maybe I need an hour to rest because it's so hot outside.
Yeah.
But usually it's half hour, eat, watch a video, watch a YouTube video, watch Keystone laundry care videos. And just like relax, and get your mind off of business. Or when I'm just like so focused on my business, I'll look at people that have maybe submitted a contact form and give them a call and get them on the schedule for an estimate, like, that day or after I run my route, schedule them out and see, kind of update your business a little bit and catch up on things.
Yeah, catch up on things during your lunch hour. Sure.
And so after I run my route, I usually go home. I try to fill up my truck beforehand so I don't have to fill it up in the morning. So I stop at a gas station, fill it up, because we drive a lot. I mean, our gas.
You might fill up a couple times a week at least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so you got to do this stuff beforehand. And sometimes, this is just sometimes, when I am servicing wet properties, if it's raining that day, I come home, I drop my equipment off, and I quickly scrape underneath all the debris.
Sure.
And because that grass clumps up underneath the deck, so I quickly just do quick maintenance, maybe sharpen the blades a bit, but usually I do that at the end of the week.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's usually just quick maintenance, sometimes maybe blow out an air filter because I mowed a really dusty lawn. Like we talked about that one property, the dusty property.
Yeah, you made your buddy mow it.
So, but that's my day. I mean, and that's basically it. errands after that. I mean, spend time with the wife.
Yeah.
After 6, it's phones off. My
really?
my mindset changes because I've gotten.
So do you
to
have
the point,
2 phones? Do you have a personal phone and a business phone?
Yeah, and the reason why, Chris, is because I have completely separated my personal life from my business life. I got to the point where I was constantly working, and I felt like I was working myself to the ground.
That's pretty common when you first get started.
Yeah, not giving time to my wife. I was kind of abandoning that relationship, and it was tough. It was sad on my part.
Yeah.
And I wasn't noticing, Chris, because I was so focused. I felt like, oh, business is growing. I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to do more. But then I was putting my business over my family. And so my wife went lower and lower and lower, and my relationship was weakening. And so when it finally clicked, and my wife explained to him, she's like, you're spending so much time on your phone. Well, I'm like, well, I got to do this. I got to contact this. She's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, it can wait until tomorrow, especially if it's like
reality
6,
hit
7, 8 o'clock.
And that's when
answer the phone.
And that's when reality hit. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm working 8 to 5. And if I'm working 8 to 5, I'm working 8 to 5. My phone's going off.
Yeah.
I'm not answering any emails. I'm not answering any phone calls after 5. And especially after or before 8. I also want to spend some time with the wife. You got to drink some coffee, communicate.
Yeah.
And then after 8, it's business.
I like how you said drink a cup of coffee. I think that's important. Not just drink coffee, but what I'll do is very similar. Is like it's about 4 or 5 o'clock and wrapping things up for the day. I'll drink a cup of coffee or I'll drink a Red Bull or something so that it gives me a little bit of an energy boost. I go into dinner with my wife and I'm excited to see her.
Yeah.
I don't want to act like a total drag when I'm coming in, like totally beat and like, oh man, I'm so tired, leave me alone. I'll do that. I'll make a point of it at least a few times a week. Is I'll just chug a Red Bull right before I walk in the door, and then I'll be a little bit upbeat.
Now I'll say none of my days are perfect. Some days I'm working past 5.
Sure.
And I'm not that guy that's like, cut off 5. That's it. I'm done. I'm halfway
Turn
through
the
this
mower
line.
off. See you later.
Turn it off. I'm out of here. I'm not that guy. I finish up my job.
Yeah.
And if you got to work at home just a little bit, say it's just like important, like this guy's on your case kind of deal.
Well, you have to.
Your wife will understand.
Yeah. Right? And when you first get started, you really have to carve out the time. But making wife or family is a priority.
Priority list is key. Now, for you that are just starting out, maybe it's not that way. But once you start getting into your 2nd, 3rd year, when you're still solo, or maybe 1 or 2 employee, and you guys are working tough hours, it's really good you have to separate.
Yeah, you have to have a little downtime.
You have to have a little personal life as well.
Make some of these videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Pull off some steam.
So, but I really, that's my whole day. So what about you? Like, how does your day look? Is it very similar?
Yeah, real similar. I'll wake up, take care of things. The beginning of my day, I'll make sure the machines are going. I'll think in my head, okay, I'll have it written down. Usually I'll have it written down. I'm not just flying by the seat of my pants at this point because I got a bunch of clients. So I have a folder and I'll look at my folder and say, okay, today is such and such day. And then I'll say, oh, so-and-so wanted me to trim the bushes or whatever. So I'll bring a hedge trimmer with me.
Yeah.
I'll set out and I'll prepare my day. Oftentimes on a Monday morning, I'll sharpen the lawnmower blades. I'll just do it. Every Monday morning, I'll sharpen the lawnmower blades. It doesn't even matter if I mowed a lot or a little last week, or how dull or how sharp they are. I just do it every single week. I perform a little bit of maintenance. I'll check the oil, sharpen the blades, check the air filter. I'll just do a basic check.
I do the exact same thing Mondays.
Every Monday morning, I'll just do it, even if it doesn't. And then as I'm leaving, I stop by the gas station on my way to the first client. Again, just do it. Even if the tank is still half full or half empty, I'll still fill it up, and then, my day is mow, maybe a short little break for a snack, and then mow till lunch, catch up on a few phone calls.
Yeah.
And then
your lunch is half hour?
Yeah, usually pretty quick, like half hour. And sometimes I'll just pack a lunch, or my wife will pack me a lunch. Thanks, honey. And I'll just stop quickly in the truck. And then, mow all afternoon until about 4 or 5 o'clock. And then, again, just kind of a cutoff.
Yep.
I pull in, and maybe I have to, again, 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe I pull in, I'm thinking about my next day, maybe I take the hedge trimmers out of the truck, or I put something else. So you
prepare for the next day.
Just a little bit, because again, when the next day, I'm going to go through that same checklist, I'm going to double check, make sure I have everything. So real similar to yours, I guess with the exception of maybe, sometimes I don't check my messages and stuff until the end of the day, because I'm just so busy, depending on what I'm doing that day.
Yeah, I've heard guys that don't even answer their phone. It don't matter who's calling. They won't answer until the end of the day.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that, certainly. Well, if I'm on a lawn, I think it looks bad when you stop and pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And then when the customer's standing in their window watching you talking on the phone, I usually just send it to voicemail, and depending on who called, call them right back when I get back in the truck, or wait till lunch. Or
yeah, I usually do the same thing. You call them back while you're driving to the next property.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a faux pas to ever look unprofessional when you're on the property. There's no spitting, there's no swearing, there's no smoking.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I mean, you're just there to mow the lawn.
I've seen some guys out there that are just smoking while mowing.
Yeah, or they're on their phone and texting. And
they're on company time.
Yeah.
They're employees.
Yeah.
Because I know they're employees because they're wearing like outfits.
Yeah.
Right. And I see the logo on the truck. I'm not going to say who, but they're out there smoking. And I've seen one guy just throw a butt in the lawn. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's so unprofessional.
I'd kick that company right off.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're gone.
Yeah. So always keeping it professional is important, but that doesn't really have anything to do about my day. It's just how I conduct myself.
Rabbit trails.
Yeah, rabbit trails. Let's stay on track. So we got our day, that what it looks like.
Yep.
So how does the week look out now? Do you schedule time in your week to make, say, estimates, or do you schedule a day to maybe for errands, maybe company errands? Are you going to schedule maybe like Wednesday afternoon to get your hair cut, or to go to the bank and check your PO box, and and maybe go swing by the hardware store and pick up supplies? Or are you doing that lightly throughout the day, or what's that week look like?
Yeah, good question. Monday is obviously maintenance day for me. Now, I know with you got way more clients. You have to work Monday through Friday. You have to mow.
Yeah.
For me, I've separated Monday as a day where it's a catch-up / maintenance / run errands day for the business. Sure. Not just for, if I did everything, run personal errands,
maybe
whatever.
Get your hair cut or something.
Exactly, yeah. So Monday is the day where I wake up in the morning. I go out.
Are you still waking up at 6, even though it's kind of your day off?
No. I'm waking up at 6:30, 7.
Oh, 6:37. You hear that?
Hey, when you know that you don't have to actually go mow lawns, you sleep in a little bit.
Okay.
But guess what? The earlier you wake up, the less you want to sleep in.
Sure.
That's just proven fact.
Yeah.
And I sometimes, I have an alarm for 6, but I sometimes tend to wake up at like 5:55. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I wake up and it's
like that.
It's just such. You've built a habit of where you're just like, exactly when you wake up, and you just wake up and you're like, wow, I have 10 minutes. Well, might as well get up.
Sure.
So, but sometimes I catch myself waking up at 6, even like an hour before, and I just get up and I just go.
Sure.
Because I feel like when I wake up and I feel awake, but I know it's too early and I just like go back to bed, then I sleep for another hour and I wake up again, I'm just tired.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, okay, I was just awake.
Should have just gotten up earlier.
Should have just got up and did. And that's the thing. I train myself to just get up.
Okay.
Don't sleep in. But anyways.
For the week. For
the week. I know. Mondays, maintenance day, run errands, catch up on things, email clients, phone calls, estimate runs, and landscape projects. Or what I mean by that is we don't do like hardscaping and full like sod installation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like just small things, mulch installation, things that'll take me an hour or two. Quick cleanup here and there. We'll do that, and that'll bring in some more income throughout the week. Tuesday through Friday is mowing. Tuesday, I don't have my routes built yet, but usually Tuesdays would be like South Hill and North Side. So I'd go through the South Hill, get all my clients from there, and then I'd run down to the valley. Or I said South Hill, North Side. South Hill, Valley, and maybe North Side's Thursday, sorry. So South Hill and Valley, I'd run my route, and then come back. Wednesday will be, I don't even need to share this, I guess. All my days are separated.
You got them in the neighborhoods.
Are separated.
Monday you do errands, catch up, and work maintenance.
Yeah.
Tuesdays you do this neighborhood. Yeah. Wednesdays you do this neighborhood. Thursdays you do this neighborhood. Fridays.
Yeah. And then my weekends, I've just dedicated my weekends to my family and church and personal life.
So you built in that Monday is kind of like your catch-up day.
Exactly. Yeah. Catch up day, rain day.
Yeah. Oh, rain day.
Rain day. You gotta have a rain day because sometimes. If you know it's going to rain on Friday, might as well start Monday.
Sure.
So then it's a +-1.
Yeah.
For my clients, and I let them know, hey, it's a plus and minus. You're on a Wednesday, but it's a plus and minus. You might be Tuesday, you might be Thursday, depending on rain delays and all that. But you're gonna be having service more than likely on a Wednesday. So
sure.
It's usually like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
Yeah. So what about you? Like, is it your weekend, or do you work on your weekends, or is your whole week dedicated to just work?
I try to keep the 8 to 5 as my general work schedule, Monday through Friday. I try not to work on the weekends if at all possible.
Yeah.
That was different when I first got started.
Oh, yeah.
I would just work like crazy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, trying to find that work life, personal life balance is really tricky. But yeah, real similar. Like a Monday will be kind of like the first few hours in the morning will be the maintenance, driving to pick up pick up with some gas or whatever. But yeah, same thing. I do this neighborhood on Mondays, this neighborhood on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I try to build in a little bit of flexibility in that I don't book my days completely solid.
Yeah.
I found that when I did that, it's good, you work from 8 to 5 and it's just solid, but if something happens during that time,
True.
or if it rains, or you're delayed, or you get a breakdown, or maybe you got to run to the hardware store to grab something, whatever, weed eater string, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I try to build in a little bit of flexibility. I'm not just solid working from 8 to 5. But again, so personal, again, it's just tough to balance that personal work life. I have kid pickups, I got to pick up the kids from school, a few days a week. So in the afternoon, I'll maybe leave early and go pick up the kids from school. And then if I'm not done, I drop off the kids, or sometimes the kids will come with me. It's a little bit tough. You think, I want to be real professional all the time. But my kids, they're pretty professional. I got them shirts and T-shirts.
Oh, yeah?
And I remember a couple years ago, my son, when he was 10 years old, and I taught him how to use the riding. We have the ride-on, walk-behind 36-inch mower. I got him a little T-shirt, and I would unload the machine and get it out, because it's kind of tricky going in reverse. I would get it out, get it started, and then he'd jump on it. A 10-year-old kid was helping me mow lawns, and he was really proficient on this thing. Man. And he was just zipping around, and that didn't happen every day. It's just occasionally if I got behind or something, I couldn't drop the kids off at home and go back and work.
Well, guess what? Yeah, the kids will remember that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
That one-on-one with the father.
Yeah, and again, we talked about, like a lot of times it's really personal. The clients are hiring you personally because they like you, and then they do get to know your family and stuff. And I'm not telling everybody out there to work your 10-year-old son.
No.
Don't
some
do
properties
this.
You don't want to put a 10-year-old
and you
on,
can't do that. Yeah, I'm just talking about maybe Mrs. Jones that loves you already. She lives around the corner, and
or like a close family member.
Maybe a close family friend. Yeah. I wouldn't go out there on a commercial property and have a 10-year-old mow the lawn, even though he's very proficient. He can do it. It's just not the professional image I want to. So anyway, my week, I built in a little bit of fudge room in there to pick up the kids from school, maybe run an errand or two, maybe even personal stuff, but light personal stuff. Again, I save getting my hair cut for the weekends. I save, doing personal stuff for the weekends or for after work. I try to keep business. If I have to run to the hardware store and pick something up, I'll do that during working hours for the most part. But real similar, dividing everything. And now I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't carve out any time for estimates. I just don't do it. Free estimates. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing and drive across town and give this guy an estimate for a maybe he'll mow. What I'll do is I'll have it built into the week. I'll say, I service that neighborhood on Wednesday. When I'm in the neighborhood, sir, I'll give you a ballpark figure. Is that something that I'll give him a pricing between, say, $50 and $60. You feel comfortable with that? He says, yes. I swing by his house, call him, and, confirm it, and then I mow it at that time. No longer will I drive across town to give anybody a free quote. It'll be on my time, on my schedule, when it's convenient to me to drive by, because I've made it. I feel like I've kind of made it to that point where I don't need to. If you have a lot of time in your schedule, then maybe you can afford to drive across town and give them a free estimate. But I wouldn't really recommend it, especially for you.
Yeah.
You're starting to get up there a little bit. I wouldn't recommend driving across town anymore.
Yeah.
So real similar. And what do you do on the weekends? Are you performing maintenance on your machine? Are you doing anything business related on the weekends, or is it just done?
That's it. Monday through Friday, that's it. And I'm fully committed to it. When you fully commit to something, it doesn't mean that
careful. Always and never.
So exactly. So sometimes I'll catch myself doing something I shouldn't, which is, check emails, or, hey, I got a website idea. I'm going to do my website real quick. Or even like YouTube. I consider it as a business. It's an income source of mine. But I'd also sometimes, I catch myself I want to spend time with the family, with the wife, but I sit on YouTube and watch videos and maybe even look at my own channel analytics. And then I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I just
It's
told
kind of a time suck.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, there goes an hour, there goes 2 hours that you could have spent time with your wife and all that. So fully, like, this year is one of my goals, is just to, even including YouTube, is just no YouTube, no nothing, just go spend time with the family, go out, do some activities, go get some air. Not like we don't breathe enough air mowing lawns, but I'm saying, like, go get some clean air.
Or go walk around the block with your wife or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just spend that time, spend quality time. And that's Saturdays, Sundays. And Sundays is just church, meditate, pray, and again, more time with the family and all that. And so that's about it. What about you? You do any activities in the?
Yeah. I'm not perfect, especially when I was first getting started. Man, I worked long hours, and I work on the weekends. But yeah, on that Sunday, I go to church every Sunday. I don't ever miss it. Sunday is kind of the day. Maybe Sunday evening, if I got a big project coming up Monday, I might work a little bit trying to preparing for that. But for the most part, the weekends are for the family. I don't do much of anything on the weekends in regards to work. I might swing by the hardware store and pick something up, maybe if I'm out and about.
Yeah.
But yeah, but what I do and what Phil does are just typical examples of what you could be doing, And
it's good to get into that habit too.
Yeah, and we're learning, it's not like we know everything, we're trying to balance that.
And we're certainly not perfect.
Yeah, no. And certainly, and like the springtime, I find, and the fall are the busiest times. And people are calling like crazy. Maybe you are working 6 days a week. Maybe you have to work.
You got to work that Saturday.
Yeah, maybe you do, and we're not telling you, to not do it or do it. We're just saying there's a balance, and we want to be really careful of that work-life, family balance. And if you're young, maybe you're like late teens, early 20s, and all you got is time to work and just throw yourself at it. That's good, but still, you got to have hobbies. You got to have your buddies to hang out with or whatever. Even if you don't have kids and you're not married, it's important to have a little bit of downtime.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you'll regret it later in life. Yeah. You'll be like, wow, all that time I spent focusing on my business. Yeah, sure, my business grew, but now I don't have that time. I missed out on all those opportunities where I could go and hang out with my friends and family and go to birthdays and go to, because you'll miss out on those things. Yeah. Birthdays only come once a year. Yeah. Man, you better have not missed your parents' birthdays, because like sometimes people will be like, nope, business comes first.
Or your kids' birthday.
Or your kids' birthdays.
Like your wife's birthday.
You miss a basketball game or something. It's tough. It's like, then your kids will remember for the rest of their life. My dad was a workaholic, and he never had time to spend with me. So it just really impacts. I don't have kids myself, but I've heard from other people like, I should have spent more time with the kids. And I regret not taking that time off. So
yeah. Oh, I should. Phil doesn't know I'm going to say this, but are you thinking about having kids?
No.
No way. Look at this. Look at the look on his face.
No way, man.
Zoom in right there, boy. Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Some topic we and my wife have discussed, and we're both on the same page of not wanting any. And so I've truly broke her down to where I wanted a straight answer. And she's done the same to me.
It might change.
So
Who knows?
Yeah, it might change.
So there's no kids in the immediate future.
Does that mean that I'll never have kids? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I might have them maybe in 5-10 years. Who knows?
Yeah. You're still young. You're in your mid-20s. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm talking about my kids, my 10-year-old and my teenager mowing the lawn, and he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah. I don't, we're not right now, but maybe in the future. So
good.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. I want to ask Chris about his whole year, how it looks like every single month to month, what he does, what activities he does, how does he prepare, what does he do in the off season, and we're going to talk about that after the break. Make sure to hit the like button and also comment down below. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you in a little bit. All right, so we took a small break there, got some lunch. We were both hungry, and I didn't eat my breakfast, so I just waited until lunch. Just one of those days. But we finished off with what we do on a day-to-day basis and what our weeks look like. Right now, like I said before, I want to talk to you, Chris, about what your year looks like. Can you break down each and every month? I know we live in a 4-season state, so we got spring, summer, winter, and fall. Break down to us what you do from January all the way through December.
Well, gosh, let's assume it's not snowing. Yeah. It's not snowing today. It really hasn't snowed for like the last month. yes, we can do a little bit of snow removal in our business here in the Spokane Inland Northwest, but it's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to bring that up because as you plan your forecasting, because this time of year you're going to be forecasting your budget, you're going to be thinking about how much money you're going to be bringing in, how many clients you have. If you're first getting started, you may not have these numbers, but you should have a pretty good idea your second year of like how much money you brought in. And so that's what I do this time of year is I start to write up my pro formas and try to forecast, what I'm going to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to do that now in January when things are tight.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, we're seasonal work, and it's just after Christmas. Maybe spent a bunch of money, maybe did whatever, and things are a little bit tighter. And you have a different mindset when it's January or February. You can write up your budgets, thinking that you're broke because you are.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to write up a budget and stick to it. I think we've talked about that in the past, how important it is. Because when you're just raking it in, you think, all right, I'm making a ton of money in the summertime. It's like, all right, I want to buy that new mower, I want to buy that new truck or whatever. But if it's not in the budget, you really got to be strict and keep with it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm getting my paperwork together. I've made a change recently from a sole proprietor where I take draws off the business. I changed to corp. So now a corporation. So now I'm going to pay myself as an employee rather than just taking draws off the top. That's something you're going to want to talk to your accountant.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me. It made sense for me. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm making changes in the business. I'm forecasting, I'm budgeting, and really making videos like this, having a little bit of free time. So that's what I do in the off season, and of course I spend more time with family and stuff. A lot of folks, a buddy of mine, he takes this time and he goes on vacation. I
know one of those guys. Yeah, they just take all the way from November to March off and just go to Hawaii or something.
Yeah, this guy, he took like 2-3 weeks and he went to Hawaii. I mean,
I know guys that just go for months, man. They're like gone for the whole winter.
And if you budget your money, you can do something like that. You make sure you pay. Another friend of mine, he paid his rent all the way, like 6 months of rent back in October because he knew he wasn't going to be working very much. And so he paid 6 months of rent ahead of time to the landlord and just said, here's your money. He gave him like a $5,000 or $6,000 check. That I was like, wow, that's really diligent to be able to do that. But that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about this sort of thing because here in a month and a half, it's going to go from nothing to suddenly busy. And I'm talking spring is typically the busiest season. You have your aerations, you have your spring cleanups, power rakings or dethatchings, and your initial mows and your fertilizing are all happening within those first couple of weeks of mowing. So I'm really preparing for that, pulling the machines out of storage, or actually not quite yet, but I would at least go make sure they're running, maybe get them started. So that's how this season looks, and then it goes into the spring, and I'm at the point where I'm not advertising, but if you're first getting started, this would be a critical time to advertise. Right about in Spokane, our growing season is a little bit shorter than most of you out there. Our growing season is about 150 days of the year, which starts about mid-April.
Yeah, mid-April.
Mid-April. And so, we're not starting until mid-April. Folks on the west side in Seattle, they start in mid-March. They got like 200 days at least of growing season. And so, I'm just it's nuts. And for me, my company's a little bit bigger than yours. I'm starting to interview people for a job. I'm trying to get a couple of employees online, trying to train them, get them up to speed, and maybe we run a couple dry runs through the route so they know what's going on. So the first quarter really starts out real slow, and then it ramps up really fast. By the second quarter, I'm starting to switch into kind of a maintenance mode. We've gotten over that hump of the busy season of the spring. The guys are trained, they know what's going on, and we can take a deep breath and just kind of relax. And we kind of put in cruise control pretty much for the whole second, third quarter, really. It's almost just all cruise control. For me, I've made the decision I'm not going to grow a whole bunch more. I'm going to take care of the clients that I have, maybe pick up a couple of new clients if they happen to be right next door. But I'm in cruise control for the most part for the summer. And my kids are still young. Again, I have kids. You don't have kids. I take a step back, and I've got some good employees. I've surrounded myself with good people, and the employees start to mow more often. And I'm taking a little step back, and I'm going to the pool with the kids, and I'm hanging out. Maybe I'm going over to grandma's house with the kids, and I kind of take a little step back for me personally in the summertime because my kids are young, they're out of school, and I like to spend that time with them during the summer, which is traditionally the busiest season, in our business, but. Again, surrounding yourself with good people, getting good employees, and just having a good network of people and friends and family, it's important to me to spend that summer. And then again, in the fall, it gets real busy again. We got the leaves are all falling. Everybody wants to have their leaves picked up. Mm-hmm. The final fertilizing's done. The sprinkler's blown out. Maybe another aeration in the fall, and it gets super busy all of a sudden. And then just like that,
we're back into winter.
Yeah, it just drops off right about Thanksgiving. It's just done. And
I think the most important thing is also realizing that since we do have a drop off, you need to have some good money in the bank for like a winter fund.
Yeah. What does your budget look like over the course of the year? Are you saving all your money in early, or do you save it, sock it away at the end? What does your
I save
year
it
look like?
Throughout the whole year. Like even now, I try to save up a little bit at a time, even if it's like $200 every single month. I try to save up just a small amount if I can. I know right now it's like no one's out working. I mean, it's cold. It's the grass isn't growing. There's no snow, no ice, so there's nothing. There's generally no work unless you want to do handyman services.
Yeah, and it's just too darn cold. You can't even trim the bushes. It's like 20 degrees outside.
Yeah,
you get outside your truck for more than 5 minutes, your hands are freezing.
Yeah, but I save up throughout all my months, especially during the mowing season. I mean, that's when you generate the most amount of money, and that's where you can put away most amount of your money. Into your winter fund, because you always need to have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
because once it comes down to October, November, and you finally realize that, I don't even have a winter fund. How am I going to survive in the winter? Well, you should have done that ahead of time. Save up enough money, budget, like Chris said, budget out how much you're going to spend a month versus how much the business is going to keep. And also from those business, take either a draw or whatever, or just keep the money in that business account, or have a separate account for winter, which I'd recommend. But you can do it either way, whichever way you'd like. If you're just starting out, I would recommend getting a business checking account with a debit and a whole separated out. Because you don't want your personal funds to be your business funds, right? You need to have them separated.
They're really, when you first get started, man, they really come together a lot.
Yeah.
And
they are, because
you really got to separate them.
Yeah, especially if you're just starting out. I mean, all the money's gonna be thrown at bills, right? Your rent, your phone bill, your internet bill, and all these bills. Yeah. And you're gonna have no business money, and then you'll be like, well, what did I just work for?
Yeah.
So then you'll finally realize what business is about. It's not about making tons of cash and sitting on them we don't sit on cash. I mean, our cash gets dispersed through here. We got expenses, we got overhead, we got insurance, and plus we got to pay ourselves because our own personal life has to survive as well, and not just our business. So
we were talking about off camera how we were talking about saving for retirement or a Roth IRA.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you can max out your IRA in the busy season when you got your money coming in.
Yeah, I would recommend first focusing on your winter fund. Once you have enough set aside for your winter fund, and your winter might be short. It might be 2-3 months. Our winter's 5 months.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And so we have to save up more money than some of you people. Some of you there might live in Florida and you don't have an off season.
All year. That'd be cool.
So you don't need to. And I would definitely suggest putting money into like a Roth IRA.
Yeah.
Or another a tax pool or whatever you want. Or not tax pool. What am I talking about? Investment.
It's some sort of investment.
Yeah, some sort of investment. Maybe buy a piece of property or land or something. But you figure that out and talk with your financial advisor on that part. But that's all like in the back of my mind every time I throughout the months, putting the money aside while I'm working, and so that way I feel confident stepping into winter.
So how do you feel with springtime being traditionally your busiest time? Like, how do you manage your time during that really busy season? Do you hire a buddy to help you temporarily, or do you do it all yourself? Or what are you doing? Or do you say no to a lot of people as much as you not want to?
So I have friends that love to work and love to get extra cash on the side, and we've all been there. We've all done side work, and so some of my I get my buddies to help me, and I just pay them cash, and But getting someone during your busy season relieves a lot of stress. It takes a lot of weight off your shoulders.
Sure.
Because not only are you more proficient, faster, you get the job done quicker. You also have more time to spend, with your family, like we've talked about before. And so you're not working, from 7 in the morning all the way to 9 at night, sitting on your computer, sending out estimates, doing visits. That time spent saved with your friend or buddy or whoever you might hire, even an employee maybe you might hire, will benefit you in the future, or benefit you throughout the day, because you'll be again finishing up quicker and all that. So but my friends love to work. I mean, I only get people that they love to mow.
Sure.
And why do I not hire them? Well, they have their own jobs of themselves, like 9 to 5 jobs. So I can only get them like twice a week. Yeah,
and they might just be the kid from youth group at church, or maybe your buddy you went to high school with, or whatever. It's just kind of a personal thing. But I'll tell you, as I've grown a little bit, those employees are kind of tricky because, well, that's almost a whole nother video. But I find that I have a hard time. My employees are my friends. Mm-hmm. Like you had, and then like your buddy, we mentioned him off camera. We were talking, like, what happens with your friend if he's late or you got to fire him? I mean, it's really tricky. So for myself personally, I try not to hire my friends anymore. Mm-hmm. It was certainly like that when I first started, but nowadays I don't hire my friends. Sorry, guys. but for when you're in your case, you're definitely smaller. You have less clients. Maybe it is still makes sense to hire your buddy for 1 day a week.
Yeah, the relationship matters. If you don't have trust in this person, then don't hire him at all. Yeah. Because first of all, he's not an employee. If he gets injured, you're gonna get in trouble, right? It's your responsibility. And it just becomes, there could be like legal action and all that, and maybe he can shoot a rock through a window, and then you can't claim it for,
who knows,
insurance and all that. But it just becomes such a mess sometimes. So if you do trust your friends, you have close, maybe a brother or sister that wants to work, man, get them on. You can always trust your brother and sister, and so that relationship really matters. But just don't count on it for the rest of your future. Yeah, you want to get employees, you want to get people that are actually part of your business and not just like their own kind of people.
So what do you do in the summer? Say it's maybe you and your wife want to go on vacation. Do you have your buddy work for you for a week, or do you just call everybody and tell them you're taking a week off? I mean,
I did that once. I didn't call everybody. I emailed them. I'm sorry. I called them. I didn't email. I called them. Personal message, and stated, hey, I'm deciding to take a week off for July 4th of July Independence Week and all that, and they were fine with it. There was only one guy that gave me a hard time, and I just said, it's okay. I even offered like I'll get someone to mow your grass for you. There was just one guy. I'm like, I'll get someone to mow your grass. He's like, no, I want you. We had an agreement, a verbal agreement. I don't do any contracts other than maybe on the estimate it said weekly lawn care service, right? So I guess I could have been more clear. But anyways, he gave me a hard time and he dropped me, which
it's probably better
doesn't
off.
matter. Yeah, it's better off anyways. But nobody else gave me a hard time, so I took a week off. Last year was different. This was 2 years ago. Last year was different. I had way more clients. The year before that, I probably had 25, 30. This year I had over 60, and I had commercial. Mm-hmm. So with commercial, it's a little different. They expect,
Sure.
it's a business. You got to mow the grass. You're not going to, let it just overgrow a tiny bit more and then come after 2 weeks and mow it. But it was the hot season, so the grass wasn't growing. It wasn't like in spring. Yeah, no way. I'd never take a week off in
springtime. No. Yeah, so, you're right. We had a hot, dry summer.
We had a hot, dry summer. So I took a week off with my wife. We went to California and just spent a week there. So it was nice. It was a good time. But last year I didn't take one other than wintertime. Got to take a vacation.
Oh,
there,
cool.
So.
What do you do in the fall to prepare for your off season? Do you do a final marketing push to try to squeeze some more dollars out of people, or are you just in a panic to finish? What's going on?
I'll be honest with you, and I'm not boasting in any way, but I had enough saved up during the summer to not even do fall cleanups.
Oh. What did you tell your customers? Didn't people say, hey, come break my leaves? Like, what?
Nobody. Well, I think I might have done one, but it wasn't a specific fall cleanup. It was more like a final cut, and they had leaves in their yard already. So I just bagged all their leaves, and that's it. But I didn't do any fall cleanups. I didn't even market it or advertise it. the majority of my clients, where they live, they don't have much big trees like maple trees that we have around here. They have just open yards, you know, that are like cookie cutter lawns and all that.
Well,
and
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was not much fall cleanups. I did a few shrub trimmings and all that, and maybe pine needle cleanups and all that, but nothing like as far as like big leaf projects. None of that.
That's good.
So, but again, I only did that, and I didn't market leaf cleanup or anything like that. I only did that because, yes, I could have done those jobs, but I decided not to because I had my fund already in place.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go for November all the way through March. So almost October all the way through March, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful for me there at the end because I've been in business for about 10, 11, 12 years now, actually. And I have a set amount of clients that I do regular weekly, about 100-ish or so I've been able to establish. But I mean, I have like 1,000, at least 1,000 or 2,000 people in my client list that I've done business with over the past. And some of those people have turned into yearly fall cleanups or yearly spring cleanups. And I've been doing their fall cleanup for years.
Yeah.
They may not be a regular client on my weekly mowing, but they have become a regular client for my fall cleanup. So I've made that commitment to a lot of people to be their fall cleanup guy. Yeah. Which it just creates a lot of extra stress for me because not only am I trying to clean up the 100 or so regular clients I have over here, I have maybe like 500 clients over here that only call me once a year for their fall or their spring cleanup. And so, typically spring and fall is the most stressful, busiest time of the year.
Some people might think, well, did you even work in October, November? I did. I still worked. Yeah. I still made some kind of money. It just wasn't fall cleanups. Okay. So I like to do things that, you don't get all dirty, and especially if the leaves are wet and all that. Yeah, it's you get all messy and stuff. I took on sprinkler blowouts. Okay. So here in Washington State, we're actually able to blow out sprinklers. We have to. Yeah. Because your pipes could freeze and bust. So I, took that opportunity. I actually did send out a marketing email to all of my clients that I knew wanted their sprinklers blown out. And we made our profits, for the months. And so we had even more money coming in. Yeah. We didn't just drop out at October and did our final cuts and that was it. No, we took additional services and implemented them and did them for our clients, and that's it. That was it. That was for the end of the season. And in November, we just did there were still some clients that needed their sprinklers blown out. It was already November. It was the late birds. But then after that, it was just wait for the snow and the ice. So
yeah. So that's our year in review. We talked about our day. We talked about our week. And we talked about our year. Hopefully people are getting something out of this.
Yeah, hopefully. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave your comments down below. Yeah. If you found this video informative, please smash the like button. We'd really appreciate it. Check out Chris. He'll have all of his social links down below in the description. Yeah. Subscribe to his channel as well, Keystone Lawn and Tree Care. We have videos on there where me and him do the same exact thing. Yeah. These are on my channel. We did his at his house. His are on his channel. So be sure to check that out. Always make sure to leave a like and comment down below so we know of your presence. And guys, take care. God bless you. And we'll see you in the next one.